Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Connected Conversations. I am Martina Mazdrova. I am your host, and I'm standing as the source of a transformed world. And that's why I'm bringing you the Connected Conversations, which are really meant to connect you with the incredible people in your life who you get to have. Maybe it is the missing piece of information, or maybe you just hear something for the 10th times, but it clicks today and it moves you forward in your life in any way, shape, or form. And today I am so excited and honored to welcome Danielle Zack, who is the Sexy Motherhood Coach. Hi, Danielle.
Hi, Martina. Thank you for inviting me to be here. I'm really looking forward to our conversation.
Me too. I am so looking forward to this. And Danielle, tell us your story. And I love that you are the sexy motherhood coach. What does that mean? What is it that you do? How did you get into this work?
Thank you. So, how did I get into this work? It's funny because when I was a little girl, I was obsessed with baby dolls and playing house. I had like the kitchen and the cradles and the strollers and all of the things. And while I was like immersed in that and loved it as a little girl, as I grew up, that motherhood being as big of a focus in my life as it's come to be was definitely not in my thoughts. I had plans to go to college and do things and be things. And how this path came to be for me was that the end of my senior year of high school, I had been dating my high school sweetheart for a while, and we found that we were pregnant. I was pregnant. He wasn't carrying anything, but we found out that we were going to be having a baby. And that was exciting for us, and at the same time, absolutely terrifying. And I had this whole idea planned out. I was college and all of these things that I was going to do. And all of a sudden it was like the rug was pulled out from under me. And I got to decide what I wanted my life to look like now and what that was going to be. So life really led me down this path. And the most beautiful part of being a teen mom was that myself, my husband, and my daughter were all sort of coming into the world and coming into our own at the same time. And what I didn't realize at the time, I had all of these insecurities and all of my feelings around, are you even equipped for this? Can you even be a good mom? What is this going to mean for your daughter? And the incredibly, incredibly beautiful thing about it is that we were all just in it together and learning and growing and evolving. And what that was able to show me is how much motherhood is. You hear people say that motherhood is a journey. And I got to really witness what that meant, and not just the journey of watching my children grow, but the journey of myself evolving, and how motherhood is a piece of my life, and it's a piece of who I am. It's not something that I give to my kids. It's not just how I'm of service. It's a part of my being, and it's been a huge source of my transformation and my growth as a woman. And so that's how I've came to be the Sexy Motherhood Coach, in that as I got to see my friends and all these women around me, as I got a little bit older, jump into motherhood, I was able to kind of see it from a different perspective of, well, what if I did wait, and what would that have looked like? And just being able to see how I can really step in and support and assist mothers in and enjoying how motherhood can help them become the best versions of themselves. A huge part of their journey.
I love that. But what a journey, what a story. And I love everything that you're saying. And how do you feel like the sexy part comes in? You're saying that motherhood is a part of your
Mm-hmm.
life.
Mm-hmm.
I would love for you to expand on that.
Yes. So, sexy and motherhood are not two words that we equate together very much. And how ironic, seeing as how sexy is the reason that motherhood comes to be, right?
Yeah.
We wouldn't have motherhood if it wasn't the sexy part. So, but we're so, I think, ingrained into with our culture and society of thinking once you become a mom, that whatever that sexy part of you is cut off. You don't have that anymore. And so that's on a mental level, and on a physical level is moms, our bodies were just taken over. Our organs are literally rearranged and pulled apart to be able to carry and be a vessel for this baby. And it takes quite a while, at least a year, at least, for our body to even come back together. So it's such a huge shift in us physically, in our physical body, obviously our environment and what we're doing, and our whole world and vessel completely rearrange, which is very easy then to get stuck in as a mom. Who am I? I don't even recognize myself. I don't even feel like myself. And so the sexy part comes in that when something is rearranged and sometimes pulled apart to be put back together, it doesn't mean it's broken. It doesn't mean that because it's different than the way that it looked, that it's now less valuable and less worthy. In fact, it is more, because we stretch and expand in ways that we never imagined as a woman as we go through this process. However, when we're not, if we can get stuck in the stories around my body's been destroyed, or it doesn't look like it did before, or my life doesn't look like it did before, then we get stuck in the who am I versus taking that next step into, so what does this mean for me, and what can I become from this?
That's so powerful, Danielle. I mean, I'm not mama myself yet, and I have majority of my friends are moms and have their own families. And I used to work for 7 years with moms and children. I was teaching gymnastics, so I was with moms and hearing their stories daily. And this is huge what you're saying, because this is exactly what they were saying. Just like, who am I? Suddenly their level of their thinking comes just down to the baby thinking, the motherhood thinking, but kind of expanding, but even having the mental capacity and the energy, right, when the sleeping is not quite what it used to be.
Yes.
Just the quality of I would say even the quality of life outside of the family concept. And this is what they keep saying, just like, who am I? And yes, the body image has changed, confidence has dropped like 9 out of 10. There was the same stories. So I mean, I love what you're doing, what you're creating for women out there. And tell us more about, like, developing the relationship with self,
Yes.
and not
So
being as I am the mom, and that's the only thing I am.
yes. So yeah, this is a perfect segue into, because we're talking about you just expanding your heart and leveling up all the relationships in your life. And so the most beautiful thing that I've learned on my journey of motherhood and my journey of assisting other moms as well is how our relationship with ourself is everything, and how much that shifts the relationship we have with others. And my children, those that are closest to us in our lives, so even if we're not a mom, those that we have the closest relationship with, are the perfect mirrors back to us. And we get to just skyrocket when we're open to this. So The going back to what you asked about the sexy. So why the sexy? Because as I just explained, our bodies are like, we don't feel great in them anymore. We lose that, our feeling of sexy and who we are as a woman. So in every relationship, especially the relationship we have with ourselves, where we get lost is when we are disconnected from our intuition and we're disconnected from how we feel. And so as moms, we get, as moms, or let me just talk into anytime anyone has a big experience in their life that throws them off kilter, right? And we feel disconnected. And so we're just a lot of confusion. I don't know what to choose or decide or any of that. That disconnection from ourselves. And so the sexy part comes in because as we really integrate down into ourselves, we get back into feeling our body, or even feeling our body for the very first time, right? Because sometimes we really haven't even gone there in our life. That is our deep connection to ourselves. And a lot of people on a spiritual journey and a spiritual path, we think of like, okay, well, I want to go here and I'm evolving here. Or if, universe or God or whatever, that everything's outside of us. Everything is within. And you can't connect to anything else until you are deeply, deeply rooted within yourself. And so with moms, everything that we do on a daily basis, our brains are firing, especially as women, just like this needs to be done, that, and this is where we are. And that's a feminine energy and it's beautiful. And we can get lost in it when we are not deeply rooted and connected. And being in our bodies, it can be, it's as simple as we hear people say like breathe or dance and move. It's as simple as that. But it is really, really as deep and profound as the time we take to love ourselves, the time we take to honor ourselves. So this relationship that we have with ourselves and how we can actually physically see how we're relating and talking to a piece of us. It's very easy for us to, as if I had a beautiful conversation with people the other day. And so this beautiful example came up in our conversation that it's as if you yourself, it could be your little girl, it could be just a version of you, right? Or the perfect version of you is sitting next to you. And as you go about your day, things are coming, people are coming, interactions are coming, right? And the way we tend to treat ourselves is the woman, the girl next to us is saying, but I need to eat, or I need to go to the bathroom, but that doesn't feel right. Or I don't know. I don't really want to do that. It's as if we keep saying, shh, you're fine. You're fine. No, I'm going to help you. No, you're fine. Don't worry about it. And we go and we help and we assist everybody else. And we just crap all over ourselves. And then at the end of the day, when we don't feel good and we feel drained and we feel like we don't even know who we are, that's because we've just literally treated ourselves like garbage. Yeah. So when we can step into that feeling and feeling into ourselves and acknowledging, even if we say it out loud, I hear you, you need a break. I hear you. This situation just isn't right. This opportunity seems good, but it doesn't feel aligned. And we honor and we listen to that. That's when we come into our deep, deep, deep knowing, which, yeah.
I love that, Danielle. I love everything that you're saying. And particularly the acknowledgement part and the part before where, we're just treating ourselves as garbage most of the times. And that's the moment, right? Because we are so depleted. And I feel like this is just generally whether you're a mom or not. I mean, I'm not a mom and I know I have days like that. And that's where I'm growing and shifting daily and consciously, choosing like, okay, I'm hearing you. And that's the moment when we are in this place where we want it from the people around us, right? From the
Yes.
partners, from the husband, from the friends, from the family, from the community. And then we go, but you're not supporting me. You don't see me. You don't hear me. You don't acknowledge me. You don't do da 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 da. Yet, this is actually what we get to create for ourselves to start with. So we're not in the need of getting it from someone else, which I feel like is one of the, I feel like, lifelong journey is really like how, what does that look like to be my best friend? Because this is what I stand for, just like you, for connection.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know anytime when I look back in my life and all the times where I was thriving and happy and everything was effortless, and equally the times that were just the hardest and it was like tough, it always came to connection.
Mm-hmm.
I either was connected and in alignment with who I am and what I'm doing, and having this sense of peace in me, or I was totally outside of my body and
Yeah.
just flying everywhere, and always came to connection. That's why I'm here sourcing connection, because it's been huge in my life. So I absolutely love that you're saying that you're standing for this. So Daniel, I would love if you could give some tools, let's say, because let's say I've have a friend who has a little girl. Maybe she's like 8 months, something like that, very little. She's just starting moving, and she's in the place where literally she feels like she can't have the time even
Yeah.
to sit down and have the coffee, and she's absolutely exhausted. So if moms particularly are in this situation, maybe you are running a business and it's your baby and it can feel just the same, like
Mm-hmm.
not even have a time for a cup of coffee, literally. How would you, what tools could you give these women to see how they could do it? There is a time, how they can create a time.
Yeah. Okay. So yes, absolutely. There's some good stuff. So first, if I could speak into a little bit, I just want to say that what you mentioned about how when we are not serving ourselves, we're not loving, we're not honoring ourselves, we are looking to others to get that. And we will. And even when we're not conscious of it, we don't want to do it, but and we all have those moments, especially moms, where we just get edgy because we haven't eaten, or we really have to go to the bathroom, or we just want 2 seconds to have a thought in our own head without hearing little voices talk to us. And in those moments when we're not taking care of ourselves, that we can trust that we have ourselves, and we're looking at that for someone else, that's when we get angry and we'll snap, or we'll just like say a little something that's not really very nice, because we're saying, I don't like the way that you're showing up right now. And so this is the idea of the heart expansion, is that our heart expands as we love ourselves. It's great to have other people love us, and that's wonderful, but it's like there's a cap on how much love we can feel. When we open up how much we love ourselves, that's when our heart expands. That's what our capacity for love expands. And when we up-level the relationship with ourselves, we get deep in there and we get so intimate. That's the word I like to use. We get intimate with ourselves. What feels good to me? What do I like? What, all of that. That's when every relationship, how we connect to everyone else around us, when we're honoring ourselves, our highest priority is that they honor themselves. So when our kid falls down and gets hurt, we're not, just brush it off and you're fine, because that's what we do to us. Instead, it's hey, and I love you, and it's going to be okay, and we're the person that we want to be with everyone else around us. So how do tools to do this, especially when we are just so things around us can seem so chaotic and that we don't have time. the little things, and I know I've talked to you, had conversations with you about this, Martina, the little things are everything. And we hear that, it seems like a cliche. It is. So getting back to that intimate and the sensuality piece, if you are in the shower, and if you're a mom who feels like you don't even have time to shower, that is a sacred space. And so I urge you to get creative with what you can do to have a few minutes of quiet time, because our whole neurological system gets reset with the water falling in the shower. And if when we're in there, we take our soap, especially if we have something that smells good, that's wonderful, and we just take the time to, even just with your hands, just massage it in, and just be in a moment where you're actually feeling yourself, that brings so much connection back. And it's you honoring you. Even better if you can massage your arms and say, I acknowledge you for how much support that you give everyone. I acknowledge you for how much you are in service constantly every day. And thank you for being here to support my baby, for allowing me, being here so that I can hold, and that I can cuddle. And you're thinking and going through your body parts as well. Even if you're not in the shower and you have a few minutes in the bathroom, whether you're getting ready to go out, you're getting ready for the day, you're just have a few minutes to pee, but you stop and you acknowledge you. And whether that's you're looking in your eyes and you're acknowledging yourself on a deep level of, I see you. I see you, and I see that today you conquered this, this, and this. And maybe it was just that you cleaned up a mess that needed to be cleaned up, whatever, as big or as little as it is, you're acknowledging you. And so that's looking in the eye and acknowledging your soul. That's, again, going through your body parts, and even just thinking, like, I thank my ears because they've allowed me to, like, thank you for being here so that I could hear my favorite song today, or I could hear the music that I wanted to hear, or I got to hear my baby laughing, or I got to hear just all of it. And it's that, it can be that simple to have those moments to bring us back. So that's a quick tip. And it seems small, but when we do it consistently and we do it repeatedly, it shifts everything inside of us.
I love that. I did that when I did that for the first time. Let's put it this way, because I would love, actually, that's a beautiful reminder. I get to do it more often, this particular practice. And I know when I did that for the first time, man, it was such an experience. It was so emotional for me, but in the most beautiful way, in a way that I was in so much gratitude that I gave myself the time. And I feel like it was the girl in me was finally seen. And literally it brought me to tears. And it was just beautiful, because then, just as you say, generally speaking, we don't tend to think of our body as, thank you feet, thank you legs for getting me. I love hiking. Nature is my home. And without my legs, I could not have experienced. I could not have walked my favorite pilgrimage in Spain and around the neighborhood, So it's just, and then literally, it was real weird for the first time to actually say that. It was like, what do you mean, thank you, legs? But when and there's this whole intimacy, right? Being in a depth with yourself, and suddenly I'm just like, thank you, hands, thank you, this. And it brought up so much in me. It was incredible, so healing. So I love that you bringing this one up. And then the other one, in the shower, what I love doing, especially when I have like hard days, is just literally imagining that the water is just washing everything out of me. It's literally visualizing that all the heavy energy, all the worries, all the stress, all the doubt, all the fear, and everything is just coming down, and I'm washing it with my soap, and the water is just literally rinsing it off me. And then, like, the water turns into this gold, silver light. It's incredible. incredible. And I always leave like a new person. And that's the thing that we do, right? We do take a showers
Yes. It
most of
sounds
the
like
times.
a goddess shower with all the light.
Yeah,
Yes.
goddess shower. I like that. We can call it this way because we are
Yes.
the goddesses, right? We
Mm.
are. Every single woman is. Oh, I love this conversation, Danielle. Is there anything, because we're reaching the end slowly, is there anything we haven't talked about and you would like to talk about? Or is there something for those women who gets to hear this conversation you want them really leave the conversation with?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So I love women. Women are, we're such vessels of love and support, connection. When we allow ourselves to step into that, the feminine energy, when we choose to really step in and embody it, is I want to say the most powerful force there is. It is so powerful.
I agree with you.
And that being said, thank you for agreeing with me. So that being said, we get to see ourselves as we are. We get to feel ourselves as we are. We get to love and connect and honor ourselves in the way that we deserve to be loved and connected with and honored. So we hear people say plenty of times that, like, if you don't do it, no one else will. If you don't love yourself, no one else will. And, you know, da 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 da, and all of these things. And what it's really my mission to share with women in the world is that you get to be so intimately, sensually connected with yourself in whatever way that looks like to you, whatever way that feels good to you. You get to do that. It is safe to do that. It is really our calling to do that. That's how we show up in the world, the way that not only that we feel good, show up and we feel good about the way that we want to show up in the world, but it is quite literally, that's how we become the best version of ourselves. Our sovereignty. So I'm a Sexy Motherhood Coach, but my company is called Sexy and Sovereign Mamas. The sovereignty, it's like my favorite word. That's us connected to this unshakable, unmovable, so spiritually and sensually centered part of ourself. And we get to have that. We get to have the trust and the embodiment and live our life fully. It is not only safe for us to do so, it's what we're here to do. And so we get to love ourselves. We get to expand our heart. We get to up-level our relationship with ourselves, which just up-levels our relationship with everyone around us. And life, it becomes joyful. It becomes happy. Oh, it just feels good. It just feels so good.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. What a beautiful words. I could just listen to you all day. I was like, can you just talk about that? Because no, this is so needed. You're so needed in the world for the women. What you do with your gifts, with your mission, with your calling, with your this yourself that you are for the world and for the women, because they get to shift and they get to see that it is safe and they get to give themselves permission to change something and to start with them. And then from this place we can change the world. I really believe that from this place.
Yeah. Yes. We stand for a transformed world from this
We
place.
do indeed. Danielle, thank you so much. And very lastly, where can those beautiful women who've got to listen to us, where they can continue to build the relationship with you and possibly
Yes.
work with you, learn from you, and just be in your energy.
Thank you. So I'm on Instagram. It's at SS Mamas, MOMMAS. And as well, we have a Facebook community, and it's the Confident Sexy Mom Community. And yeah, so those are great, great places to connect. And even if you're not a mom, but you want to be around a bunch of awesome women and, feel more into this embodiment piece and relationship piece, you're welcome to join us there in the community too.
Sounds beautiful. We will drop the links in the comments so it's easier for people to find you and connect with you. And thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for your gifts.
Thank you for
And
you. Thank you for being the connector that you are, and and doing this, creating this space and this container that we get to have conversations like this, and that we get to open our hearts together. Thank you for that.
thank you. Well, have a beautiful rest of the day, listeners, wherever you are in the world. Have a beautiful day, start to the day, rest of the day, wherever you are and what time it is. And we speak to you soon again.